Well done, team. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good work. Yes, good side step. Excellent. Working forward. Well done. Well done, team. Good. For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes. But mahi never stops. Thanks, mate. Okay, team, come on in. Let's go. Let's huddle up. Bring it in, guys. Nominate your homegrown hero today. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.
Kia ora te whānau and welcome back to the 2023 Bunnings Youth National event held at this amazing venue, Ngā Punawai, here in Õtautahi, Christchurch. They say they've saved the best to last, and I think they've got it right here with our last game on the live stream on Whakaata Māori between the under-16 girls from Manawatu and the under-16 girls from Taranaki. Haven't seen any of these teams, haven't had the opportunity, but I heard them and saw them warming up outside, and they're rearing to go. These are our two team lists for the two teams here, Manawatu and Taranaki. Kev, this is like the local derby, right? Manawatu and Taranaki.
Yeah, it should be a good battle out there between these two under-16 girls teams, and just looking at some of the names that we have in front of us here, there's going to be some great matchups. I can see Scudder in there. I wonder if that's any relation to the great Nehe Milner Scudder. So maybe a bit of footwork coming from there, but understanding their coach Kylie Joe for this Manawatu girls team, that they'll be very well drilled and have a lot of experience from the accolades that she's managed to achieve in her career as a touch player. And then flipping across to this Taranaki group, relatively new in terms of what I've seen in terms of the 16 girls grade. So I'm excited to see them and what they have to bring to the table. I know they're a very proud province. I've learnt that myself through having a lot to do with one of their local legends, Chris Walls. So they'll be playing with a lot of pride and a lot of passion, and I'm excited to see these girls in action against this Manawatu group.
I'm excited for this one, Kevin. I feel like the 16 girls grade has been one of my favourites this weekend so far. The girls grade seems to have really dialed up the speed and the tempo in each game that we've watched and played. So I'm ready for a hard and fast game here between Taranaki and Manawatu.
If you've got the good teams, you need the good refs, and we've got Te Aroha Bridget here as two of our refs for this game, as we see Taranaki running from left to right in our screen, starting us off. That's our second touch. We've got number 7 here from Taranaki, setting it up. They just pull back. They got down to the scoreline, just pulling back, setting themselves up.
Charlie out of half.
Bit of an awkward body shape there for the Manawatu defence. Got a little bit caught out. She'll want to make sure she can square those shoulders for future reference, so that she doesn't get caught in the washing machine and get done inside out. But I'm sure that's something that the sub box will be able to identify, and they'll be able to work on that to make sure that doesn't happen. As we get the big don't argue from the Taranaki group, as we see a strong touch coming in as the Manawatu group were rucking towards the sub box.
Thoughts on the call, Kev? Was it a hard touch?
I think if we look at that replay, that it did look like there was a bit of force that came in, and the player was a little bit off balance and wasn't able to get the opportunity to put the ball to the ground. So, in my opinion, yeah, I think that was a fair call from the referee.
Thought we might have seen some footwork out of Scudder, but what we've seen was fantastic rucking. She just drove that first touch hard and straight. She really got her team on the front foot then.
Yeah, we see the Manawatu group just nice and patient. There we see Rawati Whiti trying to call her player over to say, here, come here, I've seen something. But Taranaki, they were able to close that space and defend that attack of the line relatively well.
Yeah, Riley Marshall-Larkin not quite able to get across the line there, but here she comes in again.
She's dragged that ball right across the field and she's left a big hold space, but good cover defence from Taranaki's number 7, Charlie.
Yeah, that was great vision there from Jameson. She saw that a big hole opened up in the middle, and to be honest, she almost got through there. Like, it was only within the fingertip of the Taranaki defender that she was able to make that touch, and we just see Taranaki rucking it off, looking to play down the tram lines as they get their transitional group on, crossing the half, coming into 4, just a little bit flat-footed there. They had some good go forward and then kind of went away from it, and they get to their 5th.
This is 5th and last here. Got one to go.
No, I think this is the last touch here as they see to
nice.
get a bit of a wrap around.
On the edge. 14, Rosie Moffat.
Apologies to Chloe Jamison there. I got my numbers wrong. There was Chloe that didn't quite get across the line there for Manawatu, number 1. And it looks like one of the key members of the Manawatu team.
Mum and Dad got the Taranaki sign out. It's cool to see up on the hill there.
Oh yeah, the support's been awesome down here at Napunawai. If you haven't got around it and you're watching it at home, make sure you come down. If you're a local to Christchurch and watch some great youth national touch action.
It's a good set here, Cavs. Touch 1 was a beauty. She really got her team moving forward here. If they can keep their flow going, get a strike out of the back one of this. They've slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah, just support your comments here, Kev. The great thing about the secondary school nationals and this youth nationals is the amount of parents and whānau that come to watch. You don't tend to get to see so much at the Open Nationals, but definitely at this, and it's great seeing the parents out there screaming and supporting their children.
Yeah, and obviously within the Touch New Zealand framework, Awhi is a key message, and we've heard nothing but positivity from outside our tent over the course of the 2 days on this live stream field. So make sure we keep up the positive comments out there, whānau, and support the youth that are running around this weekend, because they're going to need it. As we see the Manawatu group just looking to play probably a bit of a patient set here. They had a set on the line before, but weren't able to complete to the end of their set as they look for a 32 crossover on the link, looking to attack the short side. Nice touch there from the Taranaki middle, managed to stand up the Manawatu attacker.
Manawatu need a good strike here, don't they, Kev? They've worked hard on yards. She's just drifting across through the hands. We check off out wide to the winger. Ball goes to ground, but that was a good effort from Manawatu. I think Kylie will be happy with Manawatu. Touch 1, 2 and 3, going real good. Just tidy up that 4 and 5 and then strike on the back end of it, and yeah, they'll go good. Taranaki trying to work their way off the line here, sweeping around towards their box. It's a good set too, good touch. Oh, great run. Running onto the ball really well there. Early dummy half, here's another one coming. This could end quite well for them. Yep.
Yeah, I feel for Taranaki that touch 3 has been their real strong point, and if they can probably clean up touch 1 and 2, then potentially they're going to have a double strike at the line when they get to the 7, rather than having to play it on 5th, as we see.
People pass over the top out to number 8. It's Ruby Evans. Yeah, I agree, Cavs. It's almost like the teams need to switch their touch 1, 2 and 3s and 4, 5, 6 over, right? Yeah, they've got a complete game.
Some great effort coming out of the box through 4 and 5, and even that demanding ruck touch on touch 3. So maybe if it's a depth issue, just a couple of steps back before initiating into touch 1 and 2 for this Taranaki group, and maybe the go forward could give them an extra 10 metres in terms of relation to the field.
Just watching the way Taranaki have been defending the 1 or 2 yards, they send one up pretty much up by themselves, and I'm seeing there's a lot of opportunities for the Manawatu. If they can just get a check back in, and then they can probably get another extra 10 metres.
Comes our first one, is it?
Oh, I seen that on the NRL warm-up games last night. That was a nice hit.
Saw it nil-all here. I feel like we've had a lot of action for a nil-all game.
Completely accidental, of course. And now we have Taranaki back on attack. I think this is their second touch as we see number 14 from Taranaki, Rosie Moffat, working her way to the middle.
Yeah, too Libby here. I think she's the likely one to set something up for Taranaki, so let's keep an eye on her and see what she plays off. Yeah, she's controlling quite well, just dishes off, goes into half. She didn't quite get her 14 in front of her then, so she didn't have much to work with, so she might just strike this one herself. No, she's going to go it again. I'll run it around the girls here, but yeah, Manawatu's grabbed that. Late pass, touch and pass, so Manawatu off the line.
Not something that Taranaki should go away from. I thought they were trying to set up a sweep play there by the looks of things, and potentially they don't need to get the bow to go into it. You know, they could go for a wedge setup where they've already got that Manawatu defender nice and high, and then by the time they check back inside, they should have a nice opening between the two middles to be able to get that sweeper to come on that back door and attack the scoreline, which will give Taranaki an opportunity to get their first try of the game.
Yeah, just after that set from Taranaki, Coach Joe Graham outside our tent here, I could hear him. Girls, it's not our game, it's not how we play, let's stick to what we do. So he's seen it, he knows that he's going to get the message through. As we see Manawatu.
Nice feed off, nice wrap from
on the outside. Was that border ground? Great call there from the ref, Bridget Taylor.
And for any young links out there that are watching this girls game, you'll see there that I think it was number 13 from the Taranaki group, you know, she stepped forward of the line and gave herself every opportunity to shut down that pass, and then obviously it went into her body, which meant ball to ground, and they were able to get the turnover. So great defence work there from the link of Taranaki.
Good attack though, wasn't it? Chloe and Kaharangi, they work together well, so let's keep an eye on them as we work through this game. It's out of half, she's taken off through the centre. But no, just talking about those two, Chloe and Kaharangi, they're good on D too. Snuff that one out.
And I think this is something that both teams could learn from, and Maya, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Manawatu are getting some really good go forward through 1, 2 and 3, but falling away through their transition, and on the flip side, Taranaki are getting a good 3, 4, 5, so if they could probably put both their games together, we've got a pretty even matchup here.
I was saying earlier, Kaz, but I felt like I was getting a bit too analytical. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, if they did, it'd be 10-0 to each of them, though. So I guess 10-0 and 0 would be the same.
There you go.
Nice hands from the winger.
Oh, good. The winger's today have been fantastic.
Thinks it's the last touch, but she's got one more. Let's see. This is where we sometimes get some of those ad-lib, no structure.
Yeah, Peyton steps into half, but no, Peyton just tells her just to leave that there and make Taranaki work hard to get all the way to the other side of the field. So let's see what pressure Manawatu can put on them. We've got one coming out. That's good. We get another one coming out. Let's touch one on the 7. Yeah, it's 2 about 12 metres out. Taranaki heading towards the box. They've done really well on this one here. Touch 3 done well. 3. Dish off to the winger. Line's going to sweep around. 7's going to strive strong here. Out of half, and she's off. She's running to the short side. She's just going to take it all the way, is she? No. That's a good attack. It's a good attacking raid.
But definitely seeing some space down this right-hand edge, and they're really isolating the Manawatu defence. It's just the ball to hand that isn't really happening for this Taranaki group. But it's really pleasing to hear the accolades that the wingers are getting, because it was only during the week that I was talking to one of our greats, Leon Skinner, about a couple of defensive issues that I could say that I was trying to work on myself, and he said, hey, just remember, it's never the inside fault, it's always the winger's fault. And I'm sure it was said with tongue-in-cheek, but it's cool to hear that a lot of our young wingers out here today are getting some pretty cool accolades in terms of the way that they're performing.
Falls out of half again. I think that's Scudder again, isn't it? Yeah. Kaharangi Scudder's come out of half. Just off to her buddy, but yeah, great defence there from Ella James.
And the reward that she's getting from the sub-box, you know, we see a lot of attack get rewarded or congratulated, but to hear the efforts be congratulated from her teammates in the sub-box, you know, like Taranaki have obviously put a strong emphasis on their defensive line, and they're making sure that if things are working out, then they're going to let their teammates know that they've done well.
We've got a real different type of game here, don't we? We had, in the last couple of games, we had quite high scores in the double figures, whereas this we're still at 0-0, but not by all means has that made it boring. Just the girls really working on their yards and trying to get as close as they can to the score.
Oh, Libby's off.
They can have a tap. 6 again.
Sorry, Maya, I think Libby's got herself another set of 6 then. I think Charlie's who we want to look for here. I think she's standing out there in the middle, is she? No, sorry, it's number.
Hey Maya, if this is something to come, I mean, we did talk about it yesterday about how exciting the drop-off scenario could be tomorrow for those that will be tuning in, and if this is insight to what we may see tomorrow, well, hey,
I think,
we could have some pretty exciting games on our hands tomorrow when it comes to the do or die scenarios in this tournament.
Totally. I hope every game tomorrow ends in a drop-off. I mean, the playoff games, the semi-finals, quarter-finals, and then obviously the finals. Drop-off is where it's at, and it's almost like a different game, to be honest. And you really get to see which teams are planned for it and prepared over the last few months in terms of what it is they're going to do in there, and those that haven't. And it's so crazy that at the end of the tournament, when you need to be at your best, you're physically generally at your worst, and that's where we see the teams of very good mental strength and mental fitness come into play and can get them across the line.
There's 100% 10 effort out of Libby there on that diving touch, just to get the ball turnover for a Taranaki team, and she's going to work it off to the sideline.
Yeah, she showed some real intent there, understood that it was the last touch, closed space really early, got right in the face of the Manawatu attacking unit, and probably would have been able to double off to about 3 players at the rate of the forward momentum that she had going to that touch.
Yeah, Stella's gone and planted for the winger. The winger's come out of half.
Really early in this first half, I seen the player on screen, number 5, Eva Martin. I thought she was going to be probably one of their main attacking players. I don't know whether it's just unfortunately in the rotation. She spent a lot of time on defence and yards. However, in saying that, she's been really strong at both of those. So I hope she gets a chance in the second half to show us her attacking skills. So I just got the sense that there's something with Eva that she might be one of the quality players that can help Taranaki get on the scoreboard.
About the Manawatu team, Cav, I put you on the spot here, mate. Is there anyone in that team that you think might turn this on its head?
I think they've played a relatively strong game in terms of in threes, so I think when they work together and find some continuity about kind of their space awareness, that we might see something occur with their pod system that's going out. But obviously before we saw Scudder with an opportunity attacking the line early doors. We saw Rafiti Fiti with an opportunity as she kind of had a little bit of an attack from the link zone. So it'll be really interesting to see what they can bring to the table in the second half, and maybe just finding a bit of a unit where they're finding some continuity together and connection and working off the ball a little bit stronger to get some outside outcomes on their scoreline.
Like Chloe Jamison can go into that mix with those 2 Scudder girls as well.
Just coming up to the last minute of the first half, and
Yeah, good time to go now, wouldn't it?
yeah, it's a good yard there. Those first 2 touches weren't so great, but that third one's really got 1 or 2 here onto the front foot. Unfortunately, having to hold up, as we can see, that really high defender, and if Manawatu can just read that and check one outside or inside. Ooh, unfortunately, ball couldn't go to hand, just a little bit too low for the winger from Manawatu. But just another example. I think if either coach, and I'm sure they have recognised that, can get their girls during the yards to just check one back or check one on the outside.
Manawatu's left 3 girls out here by themselves. I think got 4 now, maybe 5. But Manawatu's had a look at that. There's a bit of a sideways plant picked up.
Taranaki will look to end the half strong here. They've been good through this area of the field. That's a better touch 1 and touch 2. They'll be looking to get their transition on, and so they do, as they look to centralise their attack. Keep going forward here, girls. You don't want to end the half on a sideways. That's it. Found some good space here. They'll need to go off this, and they do. They're looking down this right edge again. Oh, Manawatu, they were able to man up to that attacking kind of flurry at the end, and we've got one game on our hands here, whānau, as Manawatu 16 girls against Taranaki 16 girls goes into the halftime break at 0 apiece.
Well done, team. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good work. Yes, good side step. Excellent. Working forward. Well done, team. Good. For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, but mahi never stops. Thanks, mate. Okay, team, come on in. Let's go. Let's huddle up. Bring it in, guys. Nominate your homegrown hero today. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, A promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
Kia ora te whānau, welcome back to the half-time break between the Manawatu under-16 girls and the Taranaki under-16 girls. I'm just sitting here next to Kev, and Kev, you got this flash shirt on. You want to tell us where you got your Touch New Zealand merch from?
Yeah, no, it's always cool to, and even seen a lot of people out and about in the SAS apparel. They've obviously gone and seen Jackson down at the SAS tent, so that's located close to the cafe down here at Napunawai. So if you haven't managed to have a look, whānau, around getting some merch for the tournament, go and see Jackson, and I'm sure he'll be able to sort you out for the rest of the tournament down here.
You might not quite be able to get it as cheap as Cav does, whānau. As I said, there's no cheaper than free, but I'm sure if you say you're Cav's cousin or something like that, then you might get a discount. Anyway, we're just about to crack into the second half of this game between Manawatu and Taranaki. No score. I'm going to say that's as a result of the awesome defence, but I think the second half is actually going to have a few tries on the board here for each of the teams. And we talked about the key players just before we went into our half-time break from each of the teams, so it'll be interesting to see what our coaches have said at half-time and what little adjustments they've made. Manawatu start us off here as they work their way down the middle of the field for touch 2, the number 4 Kahurangi Skara. Working their way over to the left side as they come back to the middle to set up for an attacking play. 32 Peel goes short side back to the 13, dives under, not quite there.
Yeah, good lift off the line there between the middle and link there for Taranaki, so they made sure that they were making the touch forward of the line, and that just stopped the diving effect of the Manawatu link, who was trying to keep them honest. And they're going to make Taranaki have to work for this as they look to get across the field. They'll just centralise their ruck set for one. Probably don't have as much go for it as they would have liked in this, but this is where their strength is, through touch 3. They've always got someone going forward.
Yeah, she's run onto that so well. I got a little bit of insight into what Joe Graham wanted out of Taranaki in the second half. He just wanted the girls to keep it simple, so they've come out, they've defended well, against the raid from Manawatu, and now they're having a bit of an... Oh yeah, well done. She's picked up a penalty here, so she's got another fresh set of 6, so let's see what keep it simple looks like on attack.
Coach Killers, the old penalty for offside on the front touch. You worked so hard to stop them, but here we have Eva Martin. Interesting to see what she can come up with.
There's Ella out of half, turns it back inside for Eva. Sorry, that was Ayla Seed. Yeah, Ayla Seed could be the... There she goes, running in short, we feed out back. I think she's been picked up for tag there. Great defence from Manawatu's number 13.
Yeah, good defence from Manawatu, closing that space, identifying that the short pass with the wraparound was coming, and we see a backdoor play here, looking to go back to the short side with another wrap, and the intercept comes out the air, and that becomes touch 0. The defensive team now get rewarded for that intercept rather than it being touch 1, and Manawatu get their first touch close to the sub box, which will help them get into their attacking end of the field. Looking to go back there, just kind of allowing time for the Manawatu substitutions to get onto the field. Player must have been called offside there, and we have touch 5 in the middle of the field now. Must have got a little bit lost there, Manawatu, as they were coming through the field, and unfortunately for them, it kind of broke down for them on their last touch, and this gives Taranaki a good starting platform in terms of where they want to be on the field to start their ruck set.
It was a good listening from that defender though from Taranaki. I remember the last thing she wanted to do was give away a penalty, so she heard to the ref call her offside and just pulled back and made her 7 and then snuffed that attacking rate out from Manawatu. As she comes in at the half. This is here we go. She's run straight through. We flick past behind her back. Unlucky went to ground. It's best shot we've had so far though from Taranaki.
Yep, very promising.
Charlie.
Sorry, mate. Very promising there from Taranaki, and they have come out of the blocks a lot stronger in the second half, early in the second half, so good signs, and hopefully they'll be getting on the board soon. Another penalty here. A lot of penalties in this game, and I think for me it's probably more as a result of inaccuracies rather than intentions to break the rule and stuff like that, so hopefully both teams can tidy that up. And hey, who doesn't like a free ride down to the other end there, Kev?
Kev loves a free bus ride.
I think when we've seen this Taranaki group attack, like they started to find some space on that inside pass, and it was really reflective in their last set that they were able to find kind of those opening through the gates there in the middle of the field, and at the time of where they are, that's exactly what they want to be picking up on, and it's going to give them some opportunity as they probably near the back end of this half, and when legs and lungs are going to get tight. But Manawatu, they're looking to go down the sideline. Once again, just getting lost in the touch count. This is something that I think Kylie will want to clear up in the sub-box. She'll want her girls to be able to understand when it's 4 into 5 so that they can get to a bit of a strike platform, and then even if it's just getting to a pick off the back end, like just trying to give them something to work off when they're getting into that attacking zone. You know, it'll give them an opportunity to be able to get their first try on the board.
That's still early days, Kev, but do we go to tactics now? I mean, Charlie's looked like the most likely to put a try on or score a try herself. As a coach, is Joe maybe talking to her saying, hey, just hold off on defence a little bit, give her a bit of spell, get her breath back into her, and then send her out for a strike, see if we can get a point on the board?
I think it's been a little bit evident that he spotted some space on their subbing box side, and in the first half it was on the right edge of the field, and now for the Taranaki group it's on the left edge of the field. But we just saw there was a 4-on-2 overlap, and I think if you can get the girls just to have a look up, maybe get that ball pass released a little bit quicker, then it could turn into a 3-on-1 opportunity, and we might see a couple more or a couple of tries come down this left edge, as we see a great little swerve there from Libby Robinson to get away from her first defender.
No fence sitting for me here, Kev. This is going to be ending a touchdown on the next set that they have when they come down, I think.
Is that Taranaki, Maya?
Yeah, Taranaki, yeah.
All right, I'll go with you, mate, and I reckon it's going to be Charlie coming out of half to set it up.
Manawatu, good defence. Taranaki nearly got in behind them, but here they are, first touch, making their way towards sub-box, getting some fresh legs on. Oh, lucky she stayed. There was nearly only 1 versus 6 there. I'm sure she would have done the job.
Kylie would have just had a chat to the girls, tidy up like Kev said, touch 3 and 4. Let's see what they've got here. This is good work. Centralise the ball back to the middle. Scutter out of half. Goes open. No, sorry, goes short side, sets back open. Lets it feed off. Get around here. Good defence from number 2, Libby Robinson.
Taranaki working it back towards their box. That's better through one.
And money's on this, Maya. Let's see what happens.
There's no jet planes left, so we can't throw a jet plane.
Yeah, well, we need a good ruck here. Another strong one coming.
There's Eva Martin swinging into the middle.
Might be Stella Henwood that's going to set this one up.
Alia Seed, I'm going to go backdoor here.
Here we go. Big drive through the middle. Down out of half. Early release. Nah, it's missed her assignment there.
4th touch, lads, or 5?
I think that's 7, Maya. Jokes.
And we saw that from the Manawatu group only a couple of sets before, just losing the touch count, and Taranaki have lost it there. So maybe it's just a bit of mental fatigue, you know, the end-to-end battle. You know, we haven't seen a touchdown yet, and that can definitely probably play on the minds of some of these players, that some of the stuff that's happening just isn't working, but they just need to keep going, like trust what the coaches are giving them, trust what they're about to put out there, and something will come. And the determination that we've seen through some of these players on both teams, like the game isn't over yet, we've got a lot of time left as we claw into the 7-minute 30 mark of this second half, and something will come, and they've just got to play with a bit of patience.
I'm looking for Charlie to come out here. We can get Charlie out to the middle of the field. Here she goes now, coming into half. She can get a good strike dump, maybe 6. I know number 11 might push in a bit field here. She gets a good strike for her. 5th and last out of half. She's running. She's gone long. Not quite long.
Great space awareness there from the Manawatu winger. Realised that they were trying to play back to the short side. Even though it was a save side situation, she knew that the space that she had to cover was enough that she could almost stand her ground, and whether or not the pass went to the link or the wing, she was going to be able to make that touch.
I'll make the last shot of the ski racks on. It's 24 degrees out there. I don't think there's much snow left around Hart.
Oh, you never know with New Zealand's weather at the moment. There could be snow falling on the Alps. Here we see Manawatu getting towards the centre of the field, looking to find a bit of a collapse in this Taranaki defensive unit. But
she's got away with that one. Feel like she's put her hand in there.
Yeah, she definitely put her hand in there, but again, probably didn't have the best control of the ball, the attacking player from Manawatu, so
100%.
Fair's fair. You have it, Taranaki, good opportunity, as you see in the replay.
Yeah, good on her.
Didn't even touch the ball, actually, just got her in the forearm on the right hand, the ball carrying hand.
Oh, Paul Davis special. I remember playing against him many a times, and I'd get a couple of those on the wrist, and he'd just look at you and be like, hey, stronger wrist, buddy. So
that's a good question for Mauri, actually. How'd you never see Lincoln doing those every game we played against him? It was pretty slippery.
Manawatu getting across to the box. Great effort there from the first ruck player there, number 9 for Manawatu. Scudder. Able to get good metres, but I'm not too sure what I've missed here, but something's happened and a bit of an indiscretion here from the Manawatu group, and Taranaki have walked away with a penalty, but they'll be able to try and capitalise off this as we drop into the last 5 minutes of this fixture.
What's the likely attack here, Cavs? Do they stay going direct through the middle, or do they start to shift the ball to the edges a bit?
Well, this should be a little bit entertaining. We heard Maya talk about her at the start, Eva Martin. He thought that potentially she had something to offer, but had been caught in a bit of the ruck and the yardage set.
Here we go.
See her be a little bit influential in that, looking for a follow play.
Here we go, back to the winger, spread it out. Great touch from Manawatu.
And these are the efforts from both sides we've seen throughout this whole game. Just when you think something's about to open up, it closes down on them just as quick as it opens up. And there we have the Manawatu girls. They're able to stop that attack just when we thought we might have been seeing our first touchdown of the game. Manawatu said, nope, it's going to be us that get it.
Who's the fittest looking team out of this bunch, you think? I feel like they've had a big day. It's probably game 3, maybe even 4 for some of these girls.
Potentially, I don't think it so much comes down to the legs when you get to this. It's that mental toughness of, like who can keep going for longer. And sometimes you just have to think that, yep, that person in front of me is tired, but at the end, that I'm tired, but that person in front of me is tired as well. And I've just got to make sure that I don't give that body language off that I'm gonna work lesser than what you do. As we see a same side cookie play there, looking to get on the outside, doesn't quite happen. Good patience showing though. Crossover, looking to go outside.
We dive. That's a great idea. That young fella had the wee scooter out there. I might have to bring mine down tomorrow.
Definitely the best opportunity of the game for Taranaki. A fresh set on the guide. I think that's 3 they've used up, so they want to make sure they get into the right part of the field. Sweep play, and unfortunately just couldn't control the ball.
Yeah, maybe too fast for herself there. Number 4 from Taranaki, Stella Henwood, and just potentially maybe kneeing the ball out of her hands as she came around on that sweep. But just look at the effort here. We're getting into the 28th minute mark here, and these Taranaki girls, they've been out there for I think 3 sets because of the back-to-back on the try line, and look at the push forward that they've given their defensive unit here by stopping the Manawatu girls even get to halfway.
This is what they're going to need to. They've got about 3 sets each probably with the time that we've got left on the clock, being about 30 seconds each set. We can see who's going to stand up here. Taranaki's got the first opportunity.
This must be the moments that become tough. When games are this close and referee decisions could come down to like those 50-50 moments. But at the same time, you must love it. You must love it when games are close and then you have to make those kind of decisions when it comes down to
Push
it.
Phoenix Fraser out there. Here comes Charlie now. We've backed her all the way, so I've got my money on you, Charlie. What can you conjure up here? Just wants to drive. can't get over to her middle. Yep.
Yeah, just coming back to your question, Kev, it's funny how players and coaches see the calls versus the refs. I know coach come up and say, oh, there was a 50-50, and then, in my eyes, there was 100-0.
Yeah,
so the other thing about big calls, the consequences might be big for the teams, but for us, it's just what's clear and obvious. And what we
Charlie, here comes Charlie. She's broken through and she just runs straight into the referee. That was unfortunate. The referee had actually made a great call there earlier. If you're at home, you're a bit confused with what happened. The Manawatu girl had called no touch, but you can't actually pull out of the touch if you are about to make it off the line.
Well, I think the referee might have been offside there. Didn't quite get back her 7.
She should have penalised herself for being in the ruck, I think.
I love the digs Charlie's having to go, though, too, and Phoenix is really trying to set it up for her. Here comes Phoenix now for a low dive. She could have closed this one out.
Oh, those are those moments. We got a minute to go. They're really putting the questions to the test here, this Taranaki under-16 girls team.
I just want to see Charlie go down here and get the ball back and just have a good hug. Just a big red hot crack. I know they're going to use the sweeper. She's going to dummy her. Yep, she has. She's dummied, gone right side, short side. She had time.
Oh, the patience. She just needed a little bit more. I think she had time in the end goal to go through there. Unfortunately, no, she chose to dish it off, and I think we go back to a touch and pass here. I saw the referee in motion moving before that last pass, so must have just deemed that the second one was touched in the possession of the ball, and there we have it. The Manawatu group are going to look to get something at the back end of this as we go into the last 15 seconds, and what an exciting game it's been. It's not often that you get score lines like this. We've had a lot of high scoring games, but the fact that this has gone end to end, and for me, I love the defensive aspect, and to see Nilu, it just goes to show the efforts that have been displayed by both teams. And we leave our day today here at the Bunnings Warehouse Youth National Championships coming out of Napunawa with a final scoreline of Manawatu 0, Taranaki 0.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.